What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're back with a breakdown for this week's reset in Destiny 2, which will kick off on Tuesday the 1st of March at the normal reset time. And this is going to be the first weekly refresh for Witch Queen and Season of the Risen, so there's a lot of stuff to check out. Of course, we'll get renewed Pinnacle drops, but also a new content rotation for Throne World and our weekly Risen quest. But then, after a long time without any challenges, we do have a new week of challenges for week 2. Plus we'll cover the unique rewards for the week and the Eververse inventory, on top of the Nightfalls, playlists, activities, and a response from Bungie regarding deep sight weapon drop rates for that quest that we're working on for the Relic. And so we're going to jump in and talk about it all in the video, guys. As always, if you enjoy it, be sure to get subscribed for more Destiny content. And now, let's get into it. And starting out, before we move on to Witch Queen related stuff, this week's bonus ranks are for the normal strikes playlist. So if you want to farm out any Vanguard ranks, it'll be a good week to do it. And I'd almost forgotten about the Reckless Endangerment pursuit weapon for the season. And that works in the same way as what we've seen in the past couple of seasons, where it's locked behind a certain rank at different vendors. And so of course, if you were planning to go for that via the Vanguard, with the additional strike ranks this week, it'll definitely be a good time to jump in and make some progress. And then we have the weekly Nightfall, which is going to be Arms Dealer for the week. Although we're not entirely certain what the weekly rotation for weapons will be just yet, so we'll have to dive in and see what we get. Then otherwise for playlist stuff, Mayhem will return to the Crucible, and there'll be some associated challenges which we'll mention in a moment. Up next though, for the weekly reset, we will get some new Throne World content, so of course we'll see a reset on any Pinnacle drops associated with Throne World. That'll include Wellspring on higher difficulties and the Vox Obscura quest. Plus we'll see another 2 collectible moths on the destination and a new featured weekly campaign mission, which of course can also drop Ascendant Alloy. Additionally though, there's the possibility of other new content and quests with the reset. But on top of this, for any folks working on the Report Relic data quest, of course, the associated deep sight drops can be a little bit hard to come by in the Wellspring activity. However, DMG from Bungie did recognize that they're seeing a lot of this feedback, and so the team is going to investigate those drop rates. And so of course it is possible that we could see an adjustment to those drop rates, which definitely would be a positive. The other thing to mention, of course, if you're completing that quest with the hope to get the exotic glaive, we'll need a stack of Ascendant Alloy to actually craft the weapon. So, especially if you've been spending those on Osteostriga and things like that, be sure to try and grind a couple out inside of the featured mission, as well as via the purchases from Banshee and the Cryptarch. As the current speculation is that we could potentially get access to that exotic glaive at some point after the launch or completion of the raid. So that could be happening in just a few days' time over the weekend. But moving back to the content for Reset, other pinnacles to bear in mind will include the new Helm Weekly for defeating champions in PsyOps. But also on Tuesday, we'll get the week 2 steps for the Operation Elbrus quest. And those will require us to complete the new battlegrounds that we'll see in the Cosmodrome, so there'll be a new PsyOps mission available. But also as part of the quest, we'll visit a new room in the Helm, where a Scion is working to gather intel on the Hive, so it'll be interesting to see how this season's story progresses this week. But additionally for Pinnacle drops, bear in mind that Dares of Eternity and the Grasp of Avarice dungeon can still be looted for Pinnacle gear. Up next though, let's speak about weekly challenges, and for week 2, we do have Operation Elbrus week 2 to complete the week 2 portion of the quest, as well as defeating combatants in PsyOps battlegrounds, and defeated champions will grant bonus progress. Of course, that will also give us insight to level up the board at the Helm. And then we have Tug of War to defeat a Hive Warden of the Spring and a Scorn Lightflayer in the Wellspring. Should have no problem getting that one done, especially with the current farming rates for the activity. Then there is Weapon Shape 1 to craft a weapon using the weapon crafting system. Another challenge called Run the Worms to complete the exotic quest of Queens and Worms, of course the Parasite exotic quest. And then we have Back Home Again in the Cosmodrome, earn progress by completing bounties, patrols, public events, and lost sectors. There's another one to complete a lost sector on Legend or higher. And then Close Range Calibration to calibrate close range sidearms, submachine guns, shotguns, glaives, and swords in the Cosmodrome. Plus Bank, Kill, Repeat to earn points by banking moats, defeating blockers and guardians in Gambit. And then Flourish of Power to defeat guardians in the Mayhem playlist with super abilities. And Scorn Pest Control, which finally requires us to defeat Scorn combatants in Vanguard playlists or strikes, with bonus progress for defeating tougher combatants. So those will be the weekly challenges for week 2. And then another content mention for this week, but on Saturday 5th of March, we are going to see the launch of the Vow of Disciple raid. That'll be the new Witch Queen raid. And all we know at the moment is that it will drop at 10 AM PST, and contest mode will level us out at 1530 power. And that means the power grind for the contest version of the raid isn't too bad, but of course, once that contest modifier is gone, it's potentially going to be a 1550 plus activity. Nonetheless though, I will keep you posted with any info we get about that through the course of the week. And now let's mention the Eververse inventory for the week. So, in terms of bright dust drops, we do have the big red button legendary emote. That one's up for grabs for 700 bright dust. We'll also see the Lethe's Mercy ornament for Lament, which is a pretty nice one there for 1250 bright dust. Next though we have Box of Tricks, a legendary transmat effect, as well as the Royal Treatment shader, which as always will be 300 bright dust. And then the Shush exotic emote, quite a few 30th anniversary items this week actually, and that one is 3250 bright dust. And then we're going to see the August Shell exotic ghost for 2850 bright dust, as well as the Last City Silverbird exotic Sparrow for 2500 bright dust. And then there's the dual engine Rhetoric Capsule, a cool exotic ship right there for 2000 bright dust. And we also are going to see some exotic ornaments. So for the Hunter's Shinobi's Vow, we'll see the Mantle of Remembrance for 1500 bright dust. But we're also going to see the embodiment of the War Beast for Doomfang Pauldron, plus the Flight of the Interceptor for the Getaway Artist. And all of those are 1500 bright dust this week. Then we have the Poison Wing Spread weapon ornament for the Le Monarch, that's 1250 bright dust, and finally the cover of the Exile Ghost projection, which is 1500 bright dust this week. The final relevant playlist challenge I'm aware of for this week though will be the Vault of Glass, and the challenge mode for the week will be Out of Its Way, which is Templar challenge, and so the Fatebringer Time Lost will be the featured weapon drop if you can get that done on Master difficulty. And finally, to mention a couple of additional bits of legacy content, but for Europa, we should see Simulation Agility for the Exo Challenge, as well as the Technocrat being featured for the weekly Empire Hunt, although the Pinnacle rewards have now been removed from those activities. Also bear in mind the rotation for the Eclipse Zone. And then otherwise, I think Shattered Realms are still a thing on the Dreaming City, so if you're completing any Legacy Forsaken content, despite the fact that the majority of it has been vaulted, the Ascendant Challenge for Dreaming City this week should be the Shattered Ruins found via the Spine of Keres. Otherwise, guys, it will be a game of wait and see, as there'll be quite a few things we're not aware of regarding weekly resets since this is a new expansion. But as always, I will be keeping you posted on that stuff right here on the channel, so definitely get subscribed if you're new around here, but if you have enjoyed the video today, a rating below also really helps us out. Let us know what you'll be focusing on when you dive into Destiny 2 this week down in the comments section. And also, I've got to say a massive thank you to all of you guys for showing so much support over this initial week in Witch Queen. It was a very busy first week and we were double uploading for most of the days. And the continued show of support from you guys has been absolutely awesome, so thank you as always. But otherwise for today, I appreciate you tuning in as always, and I'll catch you guys very soon.